Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Friday's My Kind of People. I'm Steve Brooks. Great to have you with us this morning. We have today, I call him the voice of TikTok because, you know, when I'm flicking through, this guy comes up. He's in my feed. I follow him a lot. He's a radio host. I call him the TikTok guy. He is a great character. I know you're going to enjoy meeting him this morning. I am going to introduce you to the fabulous Brandon McDermott. Dude, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so pleased to have you on the show today.
It's my pleasure, Steve. Thank you.
So you're a radio host. Tell us a bit about that. How did you get started? What's the kind of backstory for that?
Well, I started in radio in high school. There was a trade-specific school in the Omaha Public School system that allowed you to do TV and radio stuff. And 3 years in high school, loved it. But out of high school, couldn't go to college for some specific reasons. Part of them, I wasn't scholastically paying attention. But so I worked full-time out in a different industry in Omaha. And about 25, I quit a full-time job with benefits to work as an unpaid intern in a public radio station. And from there until 31, I worked my way up from there to top of the hour newsreader, to reporter, and then eventually to news director. And now I'm at a statewide network in Nebraska with 13 stations all across the state.
Fabulous stuff. I mean, that's a hell of a journey, man.
It is. It's what my life is. I'm an open book, but my life has been a wild journey from start to finish. I'm enjoying every step of the way.
I haven't met anybody who isn't. Anybody says, "Oh, I've just led an ordinary life." You know, is hiding something, and I'm sure a lot of the time it's good, right? So, I call you the TikTok guy because you have this. I call it the ultimate radio voice. Just tell me how that kind of is. That something that you crafted? Is that? I mean, my mum used to have something called the telephone voice. Right, which is a very English, hello. And so tell us about that. How did you craft that sound? Or is it just natural? Because it's velvet.
It's a little bit, I appreciate that. It's a little bit of both. You're obviously the vocal cords you're born with, but the way I explain it, and I'm not sure about your viewers, but with American football, you can be a good quarterback by throwing the ball 80, 90 yards, but if you don't have pocket presence or be able to throw a 15-yard out or have the brains for it, so to speak, then you're not going to be a good quarterback. And everybody in radio, mostly, has a good voice. But so part of that is natural, part of it's crafted. It's taken me years and years to do it. Some of it was as a kid, watching commercials and just replicating the commercials we saw, the jingles that you heard. And some of it was replicating, sportscasters that we saw on TV. And there was one where it originally started from was when I used to get on my mom's nerves as a kid. We called it the game show host voice.
Yes.
And so she would say, Brandon, take out the trash. And I'd say, how about no? Just something simple and silly, So, but yeah, it's been crafted mostly.
So I love that because I was exactly the same as a kid. You'd imitate people or, I used to say my best impression was our milkman. The guy that delivered the milk, because he would just like morning. That was it. That's all he ever said. Morning. So and then you start to do different things. Do you do impressions as well, or is it? Have you ventured into that side of it at all?
I'm not a very good impressionist, but there are some sportscasters I try to replicate a little bit. But when it comes to Mickey Mouse or any cartoon or anything like that, no, not as much.
No. Cool. So you've been doing these voiceovers for people, which are just. I mean, some of them have me in hysterics. Just sort of like, oh my god! If I rang that number and that voice came on, I would be. Oh, I have to leave a message regardless, even if I butt dialed and it was the wrong number. What's some of the crazy ones? Some of the crazy ones you've had to do? Are they, weird?
I think the funny part about this is it's real quick. I started TikTok 6 weeks ago and it just blew up. And it's amazing. One person asked for it was a gentleman named Trucker_T20. He was like, "Hey, will you record my voicemail?" "Sure, I'll record your voicemail." So I made a silly voicemail about how he's He's on the road with an uneven load. That's some sort of trucker term. And he'll give you a call back when he gets to the granny lane, to the right lane where they're slow. So just silly stuff like that. And after that, a bunch of people were like, hey, do you mind? And then, 1,500 requests later, I had to start taking donations because I didn't want to say no to folks. And
sure.
After that, I raised so much money. It was like, well, I'm no longer taking donations. I'm a business and I need to start an LLC. We started one last week. I'm not a business owner. First kid in my family to graduate high school, first to graduate college, and now first business owner. So
first business owner.
But some of my favorite ones, there was one where, some of them are the heartfelt ones. I do, husband writes a poem to the wife, a birthday to the wife, stuff like that. But one was another trucker who wrote one, and I said something like, and it wasn't silly. It was heartfelt. It was like, he's out there on the road and his wheels are turning. And you know what else is turning when he's out there on the road? The gears to the American economy, keeping your warehouses packed and your grocery stores stacked and your pantry stacked and your head hitting soft on the pillow with peace of mind at night or something silly like that. And so, and people love it. It's so, and most of the time people aren't sending me scripts. They're literally saying, hey, my name's Jake. I'm a trucker. You're creative. Do it. And I love that. I love the pressure of having to write something based on those three things.
Okay, we're going to come back to that in a bit then, because I want to throw some at you and let's just see how much fun we can have. So you were live a couple of days ago, and some guy actually came on and paid for other people to have you do their VOs, right?
Yep.
How wonderful was that? I mean. I was blown. I mean, that was one of the reasons I reached out to you, because I thought, A, that's a tremendous story, but B, just kindness and happiness being spread around the world. Tell me about it.
We've got friends and we got followers in the UK, in Ireland, in Canada, all over Western Europe, and Australia, New Zealand. So it's silly, but it's funny how much this is going up. But this guy is less than 10 miles away from me. I've never met him before in my life, but he lives 10 miles away from me in a small town. I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska. And so this guy comes in and he's normally dropping in and throwing TikTok donations, which, are smaller donations that are less than $1. But it's nice to see that. And he comes in and he says, hey, Brandon, I sent you a PayPal. And all of a sudden I get a PayPal notification. The guy sent me $50. Well, that's awesome. And then he types in the message, hey, do you want to play a game? And I'm like, okay, that's, kind of creepy. With Saw, right? And all of a sudden he sends me $75. And 5 minutes later, he sends me $100. And then he says, I want all that to go to 15 different people. Okay, we'll create a giveaway to have 15 people get free ones. And then he says he's going to donate another couple $100. So everybody that's in the chat currently can get a free voicemail. And so he did that. And so he donated like $500. And as a startup business,
wow,
open for a week, it's amazing. So it was wild. And we've been giving those away. My voice went out this last week because of all the crazy announcing I've done. So I was out of out of pocket for about 3 days, but now it's better. But it was an amazing experience. Love the followers.
This whole TikTok phenomenon during COVID has kind of captured so many people. I mean, even myself, right? What is it for you about it? I mean, is it just the fun aspect? Is it? I mean, like meeting great people. What do you get out of it?
Well, for me, I say this to the followers every time in the lives. I started doing the lives last week, and it's about community. It's about building community. When Life in Maine jumps in the chat, and I'm like, hey, Life in Maine, you went camping last week, and how's it going? I have a 14-year-old softball player that jumps in from Indiana. She's playing her state tournament this weekend. She pulled her hammy on Tuesday. I'm asking her, how was practice, And so all these people are jumping in, and it's really about a community. And one thing to your point, Steve, is that I've really realized with this is with COVID and the political division we've got and divisiveness that we've kind of seen really ramp up with people being isolated, is people are reaching out for anything they can find that gives them meaning. Yeah. They're not able to go to their churches or go to their places of where they can volunteer and reach out to the community and help folks. And so they're doing it via TikTok. And so many people have reached out to me to say, hey man, I can't donate and I don't want a video, but your videos make me laugh and it makes me feel special. And I love your lives. And it's just a reminder that, man, I wanted something out of this that created that, and I've gotten it tenfold, and that it's creating that for other people. So it's just amazing. So to your point, I think it's people are really just reaching out to be a part of something bigger.
That whole sense of community and so on. And you get, I mean, you do get all sorts of people, and There's have you seen the old Sage guy? I'll send you one, or I'll duet one for you. I watch his most, like, again, I'm fixated by the sound of his voice, because I love all of that, but just some of the stuff he comes up with is very thought provoking, which I think is great, and is a bit different from the whole, that kind of, let's do this wiggle about bit, and that's as close as I'm ever going to get to doing that, right? Ever. Although I might do something, you never know. But you get that there's this whole pinging in people's heads about, that's really poignant right now, or that's a message that I just need to hear from somebody, or that I'm not alone in this, particularly for people that are isolated and are on their own, or, are working from home, don't have the community of going to work, like that. So I love that whole kind of just that warm feeling that gets, it does put a smile on your face. As well. So with the radio stuff, you're on. Just tell us about that. You're on every weekday. You do is it the morning show you do?
I've got a foot in two worlds. I host a morning show in the state of Nebraska from 5 until 9 Central Time, and I do a TikTok live for my final hour of the show, and then I go live again later that night. But so I've got 4 or 5 hours, hour prep, 4 hours live on the show, and then 4 hours as a reporter after that. So I'm doing everything, and it's a fun ride. But yeah, so it's amazing. It's a fun.
So you're actually out there gathering stories as well, and like doing the interviews and all that.
So it's weird to be on this side of it with you interviewing me.
Maybe you want to interview me. I was going to do something like, and now it's Brandon from TikTok joining us on this. See, I can't do it as well as you, but it's you're right. It is funny when you're one side of the camera and then you do the other. I do some stuff for television and do videos for people, production videos, and as kind of in front. And I'm fascinated by that the whole other side of that, the camera side, the sound side, the mixing, the editing, all the stuff I'm no good at. I'm just a face with a beautiful face at that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you. The check's in the post. I'll donate later. Yeah. So it fascinates me. What's it like in Nebraska right now, as far as COVID is concerned? How's everybody coping down there?
We've done fairly well compared to other states. And I've got my cat here in my lap. I'm sorry, she's jumped out.
I was going to say, bring her on when she comes back.
If she comes back, I certainly will. But we've done fairly well comparatively to compared to other states. We've had a little bit of a spike like other states have.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it comes to capacity with ventilators, ICU rooms and stuff across the state, it's not that bad. Omaha and Lincoln are biggest towns. They're seeing, a couple hundred cases, but it's nothing like Florida, Texas, and California and Arizona and other states like that are seeing. So, sure. Nothing like other places. In fact, we just in Omaha and Lincoln for sure. I know we have a mask that's mandatory mask wearing, and in Omaha the council's thinking about doing it too. And that's huge because we didn't have that before. Before it wasn't that bad compared to what it is now. But I think people are kind of starting to realize that we need to be a little more proactive on it. So
yeah. I mean, we're mandatory here in Chicago. My home country, England, has just gone into another partial lockdown. So just around the world, it's like, oh, there it is. What's her name?
Her name is Ziggy.
Ziggy. She is beautiful. So this is so for everybody that's watching, everybody that's going to see this when we send it out, this is what we want, right? Real people, just listen, cute animals. It's just amazing. I love it. It's interesting how you see how people are doing Zoom meetings now and are being bombarded, Zoomed by their pets and all of that, or even getting up and walking away and they're not wearing any kind of trousers, as we say, but pants, as you go. Trousers is a very English word. What can I say? But yeah, we're just walking away with no clothes on, which is odd. So listen, I want to throw a couple of kind of random messages at you. Then give you a couple of scenarios. I'm going to put you on the spot, right?
We'll see what we can do.
See what we can do. So I'm a cuddly toy manufacturer in Houston.
What's the name of your business?
So we're called Cute Bears Are Us.
Cute Bears Are Us. Okay. So if you wanted a message and somebody says, "Hey, Brandon, I want you to write a business voicemail for me, but I want you to be professional but yet funny." The thing that I'm looking for is something to either make a pun or something to find terms within that industry. So I would say something like, you've reached Steve with Cuddly Bears Are Us. He can't come to the phone right now, but your call is important to him. He's probably stuffing a couple of bears as we speak, and they could be yours. You check the website, cuddlybearsareus.com. We've got amazing deals. But leave your name and number. The reason you called at the beep or something like that.
That's just that. So stuffing bears obviously is a huge thing if you're in the bear manufacturing industry, and if you go camping, maybe it's something else as well. So let's move on. Let's think about. I'm a chocolate maker called Tom, and I specialize in fondant fancies.
Okay. What was the last thing you specialize in? What?
Fondant fancies. Is that even a thing here?
It's not, but I've heard of fondant. But
okay, so yeah. So they're kind of like little chocolate cakes with icing and stuff on the top. How about that?
You've reached the voicemail of Tom with fondant fancies. He can't come to the phone right now, but what he does have here is somebody with silky, chocolatey, dulcet tones, Brandon McDermott. And you can get some of that, not voice-wise, but with your chocolates, by leaving your name, number, or checking our website out, something like that.
See, that's just, I love, and I said to you about that velvet voice, chocolate velvet voice. That's so funny, so funny.
You can
go ahead.
To be much better, I promise.
No, listen, but that's the whole point of stuff like this. I just want it to be spontaneous. I just want people to see it and laugh and enjoy and so on. Okay, let me do one more for you then. I'm a broken phone guy. Called Carlos. I'm the broken phone guy called Carlos, who specializes in cracked screens.
Okay. You've reached Carlos, the broken phone guy. If you've got a cracked screen or something wrong in your life that's cracked, Carlos can fix it. If it's got a screen, Carlos is your man. So leave your name, number, and your details at the message after the tone. He'll get back to you just as soon as he can. Something like that.
Amazing.
I had one gentleman who was a skateboarder, and I don't know anything about skating. And I had another one. So what I do is I think of terms. Okay, so he's out there catching big air and carving out. Carving is another term.
Yeah.
Carving out his big piece of the pie. One of my favorite ones I had was a gentleman who worked on cars, and I said something like, "He can't come to the phone right now. He's likely taking a nap. But don't blow your gasket. Pump the brakes. He'll give you a call back as soon as his battery's recharged," or something like that. So it's all about being coy and not being so, being
I remember seeing that one. I do remember seeing that one, thinking it was fun. So excellent. So what's the future hold for you, my friend? Because
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, have you ever thought about doing, kind of coming to a theatre near you type of voiceover stuff, or even, picking up on the back of TV adverts or stuff like that? Is that something you want to get into?
That would be amazing. I mean, if you're out there and you need a voice, I'm your guy. But no, honestly, I have no idea. If you would have told me 6 weeks ago, I'd be sitting here with you with 15,000 followers, which isn't a lot, believe it or not, for TikTok. But with 15,000 followers, and I've been able to monetize what I do, because there's people out there who create videos that they saw a car wreck or they saw some woman or man yelling. Million views, but there's no way to monetize that. But whatever I'm doing, people want. And so, I mean, I love it. And what's next? I don't know. I'm trying to create a bigger community with what we've got. We're going to be doing podcasts. I'm getting more studio equipment in my basement to create a studio so I can do more studio quality stuff for businesses and things like that. So, whatever the future holds, I'm all ready for it. I'm ready for it. So.
Superb. Well, listen, we've taken up loads of your time today. Thank you for coming on, my kind of people. Brandon McDermott, the TikTok voice man. Have a great day, superb weekend. Just send us out with a one of your classic bye-byes.
Thank you for joining us today on My Kinds of People with Steve Brooks and his guest, Brandon McDermott. We'll have more next Friday, so stay tuned.
Thank you, man. See you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.